Hello, hello, hello. Coming to you live from close proximity to an abandoned Kmart, which we all know what that means. And I haven't been to a Spirit this year yet. I'm lagging it, so maybe I'll go in there when they open. Hi. Few things. So, welcome back to me. I'm gonna let you know right now. Oh, for one, I thought I was being cool and gonna record and shit, and my microphone needs to be charged, so I'm just gonna fucking do this episode. Without it, the sound quality is gonna be a little rough. Things are probably gonna happen, and I apologize in advance. Also, I am going to cuss a lot. Everybody on the pod gonna cuss. And everybody is me. It's just me. So, yeah, I am not going to fucking filter myself because of anybody that might be potentially listening to me, whether that be family, whatever. I don't care. You don't have to listen. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to put myself in a box for anybody with something that I am passionate about, and that's my creativity, it's my self-expression, whatever. This is it. If you don't like it, you can ta-ta. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I thought I was gonna say something else. What's that thing on TikTok right now? It's like a little trend. It's like talking about being like unhinged or something, but it's like a rebirth of being unhinged, which is basically whatever the term is. It's just like saying that you don't care about what anybody thinks of you and all this stuff, and just like being like fuck it. So I think today, and hopefully continuing on, that's very much the vibe right now. I'm already losing my voice, but I just woke up in that mood. I'm just very tired of being in my head lately and just caring too much about very minuscule things. If people don't like certain things about me, then it's fine, and there's nothing I can do about that, and I can't be people pleasing around the world, and I'm not going to filter myself. I will make myself clear on things and apologize for things and yada yada yada, but not overly so. People know me. If you know me to my core, you know I'm not an asshole. So that is the vibe. And hopefully, like I said, that just continues, but that is definitely the fucking vibe for today. So welcome. I've written out so many fucking things to record, and I haven't been recording. As you know, it's been like a whole other month since the last video of me coming back after months saying I've been gone, blah blah blah, sorry, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I lost it again, okay? But I'm trying to reel it back in, bring it back. I've been writing stuff the whole time that I haven't been posting, but I just have to make certain accommodations for myself. But I'm trying to schedule creativity on a daily to weekly basis for myself, so hopefully that shines through in all of this. You don't really need to know all of this, but I just talk out loud and I gotta get it out. So also with that, in the works of trying to be more productive with my creativity and post more, it is hard for me in this time to record, edit my audio, make a video, and edit all that and put it on YouTube. So I'm going to do my best today with doing that with this video and maybe like one other one, maybe. But if you are interested in hearing any future reviews, I will update all my links. I think everything is on there, but I'll make sure. Just go to Spotify, because the main majority of what I'm going to be posting with my reviews are going to be on Spotify for a while without any added videos, because it's just a lot right now until I find more time to do it. I'm feeling like I don't have time to do it was making me not do anything at all. So I don't want to do that. I today am going to do another new movie roundup, and it's going to be a fuck ton of movies because I've watched a lot of newer movies lately, and a lot of them aren't really important enough for me to do individual reviews. They're just kind of like, meh, this is what I watched. Aside from stuff like the sequel to the Joker movie, I'm for sure gonna do a separate review on that. So that'll be something to come later. Probably not till like the end of this month to the beginning of next month, because like I said, I already have a backlog of research that I've done on other stuff this past month or so. So yeah, so with that, Joker, I also want to do a whole like trilogy review with Deadpool and with like the X Pearl Maxine trilogy. So I haven't done research on those yet either. So those will be semi soon to come, probably next month. So anywho, let me start off with, I didn't write any of this down for this. It's just gonna be like a soft mention. I might do my own, like a little individual review on Long Legs, but I just watched that, and just to say, like, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. I watched it with a really good friend, and we both went into it blind, and it was very entertaining trying to figure out what the fuck we were watching. So I will say with that, like, I've been listening to a lot of other reviews on it, and I'm going to watch it again before I do like a full-on review on it, because I have a lot of thoughts on it in general as a story, but I also have a lot of thoughts on it in a sort of political rabbit hole sense, and I really want to like get into that more, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very fucking entertaining, and I thought it was a trip to find out. Yeah, because we were confused on some stuff, and we watched a YouTube video and found out that the director is like an actor from Legally Blonde, and like learning who his parents are and like what happened to them. Madness. That fucking blew my mind. But anywho, new movie roundup. Sorry, shit's rough right now. Yeah, let's start off with this fucking turd, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Sorry, I'm gonna have to be going back and forth with looking at my iPad, and again, yeah, I'll add stuff, we'll edit, we'll showboat, we'll rally. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Willem Dafoe, Justin Theroux. I really didn't mean to write that like that. That's funny. It rhymes. Anyways, and Jenna Ortega, which is just like, what are any of these people doing in this fucking movie? I enjoy a lot of these actors, and it's just like, ugh, you should have passed hard on this. But yeah, I'm so sorry for all of that. I really am. So after the plot is, after a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River, still haunted by Beetlejuice. Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. Sorry, I read that weird. I'm not good at reading things sometimes. So, or I'm laughing at my notes. So I put with that, I added shit actor Jeffrey Jones, abuser. We'll just go with abuser. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are knowledgeable with that. If not, look it up. I don't want to like say too many like phrases and whatnot on that. But Jeffrey Jones, we'll just say, is a piece of shit and has been in trouble for being a piece of shit. And was, Lydia's dad in the first installment of Beetlejuice. And with this, so with the plot, when it's saying after a family tragedy, it's like returning for a funeral, whatever, it's his funeral. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. And then also they do like a little like claymation, whatever, stop motion type thing to convey that he had his head bitten off by a shark. Also, sorry, spoilers on everything that I'm about to say. Probably should have said that in the beginning. I apologize. So yeah, they do that, and I'm like, okay, I can accept that. The fucker got his head bit off. Cool. Then we proceed to continue to have him mentioned in the movie just like repeatedly, even having like in the iconic like waiting room and stuff, he's in there but his head's bit off, right? So it's just like, why do we keep harping on him and making him a part of the movie? Like, I know Jeffrey Jones and Tim Burton are probably friends because I mean he's been in multiple Tim Burton movies, so maybe it's just kind of like Tim Burton's fuck you to the world, like I'm still gonna have him in here, because it's not doing it in a way that's like trying to tiptoe and back away from it, like as opposed to like you completely tiptoed and back away from having Alec Baldwin in the movie for very obvious reasons, because Alec Baldwin is a piece of shit. So you're gonna completely axe out Alec Baldwin for the movie, but then you're still gonna have this abuser in it, and it's just like, why? It made no fucking sense to me. If you wanted a different plot in a sense, or if you wanted this plot to go on the way that you created it, then like make it that they're going to the funeral of Astrid's dad because he's dead or he's been missing and they don't know where he is. Make that the funeral that everybody is going to, and that being the person that is the focus of someone dying. Like, don't keep putting this asshole in it. Like, it makes no fucking sense. So I was just already irritated with that. Overall, the plot, it's whatever. It's a throwaway. It's you're only watching Beetlejuice for the nostalgia at this point, because it just has no substance to it. Also, throughout the years, it's like, okay, we've seen the Beetlejuice movie. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up on that stuff. I watched that as a kid. I watched the TV series, the cartoon, and it's like, it's Beetlejuice and it's Lydia. And, it's just, Beetlejuice has become the main focus of Beetlejuice. Like, yeah, he's hardly in the first one. If it's like maybe like 15, 17 minutes, like runtime total that he's actually in it in the first one. And I think it's pretty similar to the amount of time that he's in this one. And it's like, I don't know if he just didn't like really want to be a part of it, or if Tim Burton was really like stuck on this shit ass plot. But it's like, considering throughout the years how much more Beetlejuice has become popular as in himself, it's like, make the plot about Beetlejuice. Hell, make it a fucking origin story on Beetlejuice. Like, that would have been dope as fuck. Make him be a part of it more, as opposed to still making him be this random background thing. it was even more or less intriguing having him in this with a low runtime than the first one. So it's like, and then also the stupid like wife shit. I'm not even gonna fucking comment on that. Fuck it. That was garbage. And I listened to this other podcast. The name is escaping me right now, but I had listened to that like a while back, like months ago. I'll find it and I'll put that podcast. I mentioned them in the comments or whatever description. Yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying. So in this podcast, I was listening to these two ladies do a review on a Tim Burton movie, and they're like, yeah, you know, like we like Tim Burton movies just like everybody else, and da da da, but we don't like Tim Burton. And they were going into detail of saying that like he, you know, doesn't like, doesn't like putting black people in his movies. And I was like, huh? And then I was listening to them like talk more about it, and I was like looking back on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's very, very, very true. You know, they were talking about how he likes a very like gothic look and stuff, and like stereotypically black people don't go along with that look, but it's like it's totally fucking doable. It's like even in the sense of like Coraline and having Wybie, like that works, even though Wybie is clearly mixed. Sorry, that made me think of seeing on TikTok that, like, what is it, that deleted scene where Coraline asks Wybie if he's black, and it's just like, whoa, it was off the cuff. So anyways, case in point, I was like, oh, okay, that's rough, you know, but hasn't really deterred me from, like, watching Tim Burton movies. So with that being said, I noticed that a main focal point of having black people in Beetlejuice was having the Soul Train in the underworld, and it was just very stereotypical, and it was kind of gross. So yeah, I give this movie a big fat gross. It sucked ass. Maybe one day somebody will create an off-brand Beetlejuice and create an origin story just like with the newer installments of like the Joker, you know, it would be somebody else's thing. That would be dope. Steal it from me. I want to see it. All right, next movie, Alien Romulus. I really hope that I'm saying that right. I'm not really big on the Alien franchise. I've seen the original. I've never seen any of its successors. I'm familiar with like Alien versus Predator, da da da. Even though I haven't really watched those, but I'm familiar is the point. I watched this movie because it was my mom's birthday and that's what she wanted to see. And I was super entertained by it, but I've listened to other reviews with people that are more knowledgeable with the Alien franchise, and they were kind of like about it and describing that, and I can see why, like from the point of view of, from a fan, but just in a very basic sense of somebody that isn't really familiar, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action. I got invested in certain things. I got creepy crawlied. But yeah, sorry. So Alien Romulus is directed and co-written by Fede Alvarez, starring, is it Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Renaud, and Isabella Merced. And the plot is, while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. That's a fucking exaggeration. I mean, it is terrifying, but the most terrifying thing in the universe? I'd say that's like a black hole or something. The creative team... Oh, are these my little trivia notes? Sorry, let me reel it in. So I have here... Oh, yes, okay. So I thought that was cool. I did recognize that Sir Ian Holmes, his character, what is that, Ash, was in He's since passed away, like from the previous installments of the movie. So his family gave permission for his likeliness to be used in this film, which I know a lot of people who are big fans of the Alien franchise weren't completely happy with how that looked. And then also just like the overusages of like names and references and stuff, which I get, but I thought that was cool as a non-super fan. I was like, oh, I know that face. But anywho, they used his likeliness for the character of Rook. Excuse me. Oh, okay. So I definitely want to talk on that because I was telling my mom, I was like, this lead actress looks a lot like Ellie from The Last of Us. I don't know if you've played The Last of Us, like actual video game. I'm not talking about like the TV series. So from the video game, this lead actress in Alien looks a lot like Ellie, and especially like Ellie and the way that she looks in The Last of Us Part 2. And I was like, kept looking at her, I was like, oh my gosh, and like with the clothes that she was wearing, and I don't know, it was the clothes, and then it was obviously what really fucking hooked me in with it was the whole like spacesuit thing. Like if you've played The Last of Us 2, you know. So I was just like, what the fuck? So I was thinking all that and thinking that that had a similar vibe and blah, blah, blah. I thought that was just me. But then I had like decided to look it up to see if anybody else felt that way and saw like a whole article on it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. I was saying, director Fede Alvarez revealed that Isabella Merced's pregnant character Kay was inspired by Dina from The Last of Us Part 2, who the actress was that's a hard word, subsequently cast in the second season of The Last of Us. So yeah, the love interest of Ellie in The Last of Us 2 is Dina, and Dina is being portrayed in the TV series by Isabella Merced, who Fede Alvarez was, you know, the character inspired by, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to reiterate that because I know I read that weird. Hopefully that made sense rereading it. But yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And honestly, it kind of bothers me to think, because I'm just like, I enjoy the actress that they have playing Ellie on the TV series, but like after seeing Kaylee, I'm just like, dude, like a lot of people say that she would totally look great playing Ellie in The Last of Us 2 because Ellie's a little bit older, but I'm like, she could have totally played Ellie in the first installment. You just young it up a little bit. It's easier to young it up than to age it up. You know what I'm saying? Like the lead actress, sorry, her name's escaping me right now, and the TV series, she looks young, like really young, and that works for the first season, but like going into the second season and her being older, it just doesn't add up the same way that it could have with this actress portraying her. Like I wish that I can like go back in time and find a way to recast that, because that would have been fucking perfect. She looks the part completely. Anyways, that is completely beyond the point. Let's get into Speak No Evil. So Speak No Evil was directed and co-written by James Watkins, starring James McAvoy. I'm sorry, what? I don't think I didn't write this actress's last name. And you know what? Her first name is very hard to say also. So I'm not going to do it. Mackenzie Davis, Scoot McNairy, And the children in the movie are played by Alex West Leffler and Dan Huff. So the plot is a family is invited to spend a whole weekend in a lonely home in the countryside. But as the weekend progresses, they realize that a dark side lies within the family who invited them. So I have been wanting to see this movie since the trailers first came out, like, what, 3 years ago? Just kidding, it's dramatic. Just feels like I've been seeing the trailer for it for a long ass time and waiting for it to come out for a long ass time. So finally got to watch it, and I ended up loving it a million times more than I already predicted that I would. I loved the theme. I loved the message behind it. I think maybe in part because I could like really relate to it in terms of like kind of like what I was talking about at the top of this, and like things that I've been going through recently, and like overthinking things or trying to like people please and be too nice. I really enjoyed watching this and seeing this, you know, the innocent couple, the innocent family interacting with the evil family, and seeing all these instances of like, the whole movie is fucking cringe with instances of like, why would you do that? Or why would you say yes to that? Or why would you let your kid do that? Like, even like right off the top, the you know, innocent couple lets their daughter ride on the back of Jay McAvoy's like little Vespa thing, and it's just like, or it's not a Vespa, it's like a bike, and like enough for me to be like, for one, I'm not letting my kid get on that, but also not with somebody that we have literally just walked past and they were like, oh, does she want to ride? It's like, say no. You don't know if they know how to ride the fucking bike. You're just gonna let your kid get on a bike with a stranger. And also they're kind of like low-key, I don't know, I think he had her sitting in front of him, which is like also gross. It's just like, don't do that. But it's just like so many instances in this movie where you're like, fucking leave, say no. This is very much one of those like talk out loud movies where it's like, just what the fuck are you doing? It's just all these things that we deal with on a daily basis of being too nice and accepting things that we don't like. You know, there's like a moment where like when they're actually at the countryside home, the innocent family, the wife, who's portrayed by Mackenzie Davis, who I'm a big fan of, she gets up in the middle of the night to go check on her daughter, which also a thing. If you're going to a stranger's home to vacation, don't let your daughter sleep in a separate room from you with the other child from this other family in the attic. Keep your fucking kid close to you. What the fuck is wrong with you? So that's one of those things. As I said, it's just a continuous thing of that. So it's like that. She goes upstairs. Her daughter isn't in there. She's like, what the fuck? She goes downstairs, goes into the other family's room, sees that her daughter is laying in bed, like in between the mom and the dad. The dad's in like, shit, he's not in booty shorts. He's in like a fucking banana hammock. So, sorry. Hopefully the terms come through. Anyway, so he's like laying in that and blah, blah, blah. Anywho, it's just really inappropriate. And the mom's just like, what the fuck? Gets the daughter, she's like, we need to leave. And then they leave. They end up having to turn around because their daughter left her favorite stuffy and stuff. And it's like, you're gonna have to fucking get over it because we're not going back. Like, that's scary shit. But they go back. They fucking get talked into, like, they get sweet talked with a sad story about why they had the daughter in the room with them and stuff, and they're like, oh, we understand. It's like, no, we don't understand. That's not okay. bad shit crazy. Anyways, but yeah, it's just continuous stuff like that, like awkward moments with the crazy family or the scary family, and the dad's like yelling at the kid during like a dance routine that the kids made up. He's like, you're not doing it right, you're not doing it with enough rhythm, and blah blah blah. Yeah, shit's rough, shit's hard to watch. It's just a lot of like, fucking toughen the fuck up and leave. Shouldn't even been there in the fucking first place. But I will leave it at that and not spoil the end, at least. But yeah, shit's crazy. So Blink Twice. I was like kind of mid on wanting to watch Blink Twice. I actually ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm an off and on again fan when it comes to Zoe Kravitz. I think overall I am. I don't know. Sometimes like we all hear things about people, blah blah blah. And sometimes you just see behaviors and it's a little bit of a turnoff. But I thought it was a dope directorial debut. So it was directed and co-written by Zoe Kravitz, starring Naomi Ackie, Channing Tatum, Aaliyah Shawkat, Christian Slater, Simon Rex, Adria Arjona, Haley Joel Osment, and I am going to round off on Gina Davis because there is a fuck ton of people in this movie and a lot of actors to recite, and I'm not gonna do it because the other half I don't really know who they are. That doesn't mean they don't matter, I just don't really care. So, anywho, the plot. When tech billionaire Slater King meets cocktail waitress Frida at his fundraising gala, he invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. As strange things start to happen, Frida questions her reality. Rightfully so. The beginning of this movie gives you a trigger warning. Rightfully so. It gets a little rough when what's happening is revealed, but regardless of that, I very much enjoyed the cinematography. I love the whole setup. I do think there was maybe one too many like vacationing dancing scenes and stuff, but I also get that that's part of the plot and the point of showing like repetition of the same thing happening every day. Beep boop beep. Aside from that, I don't want to get too much into that with certain themes and certain words. I will say I looked up because I'm not very knowledgeable with like animals and symbolisms. I really hope you didn't hear my stomach growl right now, but hopefully I wrote this out in a way that makes sense. So I put specific meanings and symbolism for rabbits and red rabbits that very much go along. Oh, okay. So Naomi Aki's character Frida is referred to a red rabbit by somebody that works on the island, and she's just like, what does that mean? So you hear that a lot. I wanted to look up symbolism for like rabbits and even more specifically red rabbits. So like that symbolism, especially for like red rabbits, that very much goes along with the theme of like a test subject. So test subject, that's very much a big part of the film, as well as other themes in regards to rabbits, such as like courage, community, and renewal. If you've seen the movie, you know that that's very much true. It's very present. So I kind of like what they did with that and that symbolism, especially because I wasn't really, like I said, familiar with all that. So also I think there are obvious vast known meanings for snakes. Sorry, sometimes I write things out weird. Oh, I wasn't thinking. Okay, anywho, so I looked up snakes. I concluded that snakes and rabbits are natural enemies, which I think that symbolism takes on an interesting role in the sense of venom and how it's used in the movie. So it's like there's an obvious thing hearing that, especially after hearing the symbolism for rabbits and knowing that snakes are a natural enemy. Snakes are an obvious thing to describe the men in this movie. So yeah, again, I think it's interesting hearing that, and then yeah, how the venom is used. I won't say too much. Anywho, um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, as far as directorial debuts go, is very interesting. It is original. Um, in the sense of the plot, I was thinking that I was just getting like another oh my gosh, like Glass Onion type thing. I know that what's the full name of that? I don't know, not important. But I just thought it was just gonna be like another like mystery movie type thing, but it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I will say there's this line in the movie that Channing Tatum says that I feel could have been put on a different character. It kind of doesn't fit, and it low-key kind of like rubbed me the wrong way when he is telling one of the younger dudes that he just sat there and did nothing, and he's like, you did nothing for them and you did nothing for yourself, and it's such a waste. And in terms of him saying you did nothing for them, it's like you don't care about them, obviously, which is why we're here and what the whole plot is. So I kind of don't like that he's the one telling him that. I feel like that should have been like one of the women involved in the situation telling him that, minus the that's a waste aspect of it, because in reality, with these very unfortunate things that happen, there are a lot of people that think that they're innocent because they do nothing. But it's like doing nothing is doing something. It's attributing to the bad behavior. So I like that line. I just don't think it should have been used with Channing Tatum's character. And then a quick little like bing boom bam. My roommate told me, or he was asking me if I watched Furiosa. I was like, nah. Like I've tried watching the other newer Mad Max multiple times and I just couldn't really get into it. Like I really fucking wanted to get into it because it looked like something I like, and it had a whole bunch of actors that I love in it, especially Tom Hardy. But he finally got me to watch it. I watched it, and I'm not gonna lie, in the first 15 minutes I was intrigued and I was like, all right, I can keep watching this. So Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, directed and co-written by George Miller, who's the original creator of the Mad Max franchise, which is cool. So yeah, directed and co-written by him, starring Anna Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. The plot: the origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max, which is the one that we've seen, that's Mad Max Fury Road, right? So unless Furiosa is involved in any other part of the Mad Max franchise from forever ago, I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but whatever. This is from like what I've seen and what I know. So I think it's just from these two that Furiosa's been in. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Put it in the comments. Anywho, so I'll just say I enjoyed it. A lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm definitely gonna say I think this is Chris Hemsworth's best fucking performance ever. I don't know if it was because they like uglied him up or whatever, but like that gave him the confidence to portray that character like that, but that is the best acting I have ever seen him do. Ever. Like, you know, I feel like he has the unfortunates of being placed into things, and he's always like the handsome character, but they try to like make him seem common by putting like glasses on him or something, and it's just like it's not working. You know, it just hasn't been working for him in a lot of things. I just haven't been a big fan, aside from like watching the Avengers and him portraying Thor after the first installment of Thor, when he started like being himself and being funny. It's just Chris Hemsworth being Chris Hemsworth in those movies. So this was very refreshing. I really enjoyed him in this. I will say the downfall, and actually let me cut to like right after I watched Furiosa, I was like, fuck it, I don't have anything else to do. I'm gonna try watching Mad Max Fury Road again. And I watched it all the way through. I was super fucking into it, like I had always wanted to be. I think it helped seeing this prequel and knowing all this and then watching Mad Max. So like if you've ever had issues in trying to like get into these, I would say watch it in this sequence. Watch Furiosa first, then watch Mad Max Fury Road. Because then yeah, I got into it more. But I will say with that, there are some downfalls for me personally in these movies, and I get that is the whole fucking point, is that they're battling each other. It's like, it's kind of giving like, what's the video game, like Twisted Metal, which I also wasn't into. I'm just not into stuff like that, like car battling. It made me think of like the biggest actiony parts, obviously, of Fast and Furious are always like car chases and battlings of cars and blah blah blah. It's cool to an extent and to watch, but after a while it gets fucking boring to me. I'm just like, okay, we're still driving and fighting, cool. Like, but also, like I said, I get that is the biggest aspect of how people battle in Mad Max, and I will say it is really cool how, you know, they construct their vehicles and like make up random crazy art looking shit to like battle each other whilst driving. But they're too long. The car chases are too long. I would say, especially in Furiosa, I zoned out a lot on the car chases after like 5 minutes of it. But in Mad Max Fury Road, I was a little more intrigued by the car chases, but still, it's a fucking snooze fest when it comes to that. To me, it's just like, make it quick. Keep it simple, stupid. So yeah, that's all I got for new movie roundup. Long as fuck, 43 minutes, cool. I hope that was enjoyable. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for hanging in there. Shout out to my friend Cynthia, who listens to my podcast and encourages me, and she even listened to the very early beginning ones, which I always contemplate deleting because they are very far from this. There's not extensive research. It's just me fucking blabbing and forgetting names and blah blah blah, but I appreciate her for doing that, so thank you, friend. But yeah, thank you to anybody that's supported me in this and helped give me the very beginning tools into getting into this. I appreciate you. But yeah, again, thank you for listening. I am going to see if Spirit Halloween is open. But yeah, take care and be kind to yourself.